Hey everybody, welcome back. We're cooking a little bit, I think. Ant is okay. You are a stud, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise, okay? I'll be a small sardine, or if like a feeble citizen. It's just, we'll make this a non-fiction video. I don't see how we could lose this round. I didn't think that a win was guaranteed, but just knowing the tier 1s in the pack, it didn't seem sensible to me that we could lose. Combine you, take one of these. I'll put you up at the front. Actually, you should come to the back now. You should come here. Yeah. I want to put my weakest unit at the front, even though there's a Silk Moth buffing it, because it's like the Silk Moths cancel each other out if they're running them. And then we start running like our ants, which are genuinely there to buff the rest of the team. We just draw, but I mean, we clear this team most of the time, probably, I'd hope. Buff me. Double food freeze. We have a level. That's what we wanted to see. And an early badger. It's quite an interesting thing to think about, this early badger. I think I would sell. We'll run back badger. And we'll pretty much keep the same squad order here. Another buff, and as you can see, like we don't mind the idea of a Silk Moth getting to level 3 because it can enable some bison scaling. Our badger is here because I think what we've learned so far is that like time is on our side. What a horrible name, by the way. I'm just came 3 times. Quit bragging, okay? Who do you think you are, Rachel Bilson? Okay, there's a level 3 that could segue into a perfect bison. We do need honey badger, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that drawing is okay if you then live long enough to execute the meta this week, which appears to be by dragons. I'm more than happy with my draws, and the bison enables us. It probably lowers our chances of winning, but greatly increases our chances of drawing. That's not a bison, but it's pretty good. Probably unfreeze these at this point. Sure, I would throw an armadillo out here. And realistically, the otter's got to go. You would buff a level 3. We do have a level 3. Okay, I would sell the otter, buy a baboon. You could also, you want to get freaky with it? Like basically sack the baboon. This is a weird way to run the team. But it's kind of funny, maybe. You would buff you, and yeah, it's a pretty good lettuce, honestly. You sack the baboon to get the priority of front badger. Then we don't need to buy honey either. Holy cow, I forgot about all the extra sauce we'd be squeezing out of that. Because of the Silk Moth. Good lord, that was amazing. I didn't even consider the Silk Moth buff. Give me a lettuce. I just don't see the value, really, of a pineapple on the badger here. Strikes me as a little late for giraffe. Strikes me as, like, the ant. We don't really want it to be here anyway. I'm going to put garlic on an armadillo, even though it basically doesn't have any stats. It doesn't need to, because we're running late-game dragons. It's beautiful. 2 triggers and a 1-for-1 trade. Like, we couldn't have asked for more than that. So we're at 3 wins with full HP. Very happy to just be stable. It's a pretty good time, honestly, to throw a bison out there. It'll get the buff from the tier 3. It'll also get the buff from the baboon. It's not nothing. I do feel like a hawk is like a little better than an armadillo, even with the... And actually, the hawk could steal... Well, the armadillo could have stolen the baboon's buff, now that I think about it. I just think a hawk is better, quite frankly. I'm still liking the order that we got here. Although, maybe I'd run, like, badger position 2, because hawk position 1 is more likely to snipe their best unit. I'll be the first to tell you this squad looks like, oh, but then we don't get the buff from this Silk Moth on the badger, so it becomes less effective. I'll be the first to tell you the squad is, like, it's mighty strange looking, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it can't get the job done. I mean, like, look at the results right now speak for themselves. Way too late to be talking about a jellyfish. Come on. I know there's good foods out there. Honestly, I think the baboon has kind of served this purpose. I would throw out another hawk. I would give one hawk a pineapple so that when we eventually combine them, we're doing better as a result. The thing is, you can't sell the silk moth. So you know what we want? A hawk level into a dragon, and I will never complain about anything in the world of video games ever again. And that is a promise that I guarantee I'm going to break. But look at this, dude. This goofy little pseudo-sniping team. Sensibility would probably tell you to take a chocolate on the bison, but we're going crazy mode. I have to roll first, right? I need the space. You don't leave it a space. Octopus. That's not what I wanted. I wanted a dang dragon. Well, what's getting sniped here by our badger? It's like now I gotta move the badger to the back because there's no sacrificial. Well, there could be. You could sack the beluga to spit out an octopus, and then you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. We can't fit the roll in here, though. We could also just try to run like a big octopus and then sell other units to get the dragon. I mean, honestly, we could sell the bison. People don't want to hear it, but the bison is not necessarily likely to get us where we're trying to go. I'm going to freeze these just because you never know when you're going to want them. But we really, more than anything else, we're looking for a tier 6 dragon, and then we just start hot swapping tier 1s in and out. Big snipes. Love to see it. What a shot. Right now, it's working. It doesn't feel like it should be, right? Like, this team feels insanely bad with no direction, but it is working. It's a piranha. It's not what we're looking for. I would take a hawk 1 level away from Graceland, and I'll keep the badger frozen, and we're still, like, I don't know what you want me to tell you, like, we're just waiting for the dragon to show up. It didn't show up at any of the earliest junctures we could have asked for. Oh, you frickin' melon armor piece of junk. Hang on, though. I was so close to a draw. I would have been over the moon for a draw. Popcorn. I have tried Python a few times this week. I'm not saying it can't work. I'm saying I can't make it work. Okay, you are not a dragon. So we got to figure out how we're getting out of this. We can now sell moth. That's great. And we'll do so immediately because even just a base reindeer is probably an advantage. We have to figure out if there's anything that could go there that could really change the game. Because, I mean, I think it's pretty clear. Right now, like, as much as I would love to just pop an octopus on this, like, pop a pineapple on the octopus, there's no guarantee that, like, the octopus is ever going to do anything for us. Unfortunately. Huge shot. I'll take it at least. Like, the octopus has been pretty underwhelming, unfortunately. If anything, I wish I could go back in time and give all that chocolate that I gave to the hawk. I wish I could give it to the bison. But I'm content in myself as well. Like, you know, we're trying to have some fun with it. Trying to get a little goofy with it. If we're gonna make it, man, it's gotta be... it's gotta be... It's a dragon. Okay, we've got 3 life left. There's a chance. Sell me. Buy me. I would like to say sorry to the octopus. Or the badger. We got to keep the octopus just because we got better prospects. Buy this. Okay, it might take everything to get the pivot to go, okay? And forget the bison. We're scaling it better with our dragon now. It might take our next 3 lives to get this going, and we might not quite reach escape velocity, but we finally have a chance. This lemon's going to eat me alive. This is why I'm just, even though it looks horrendous right now, I'm thrilled that I had enough HP to at least try the pivot. Now buff the crap out of your octopus. We'd love to see more dragons. I'm gonna give the lemon to the bison for now, just because I'm stupid, but I'm not that stupid. Debatable perhaps, but 2 snails? Well, It's a realistic chance, I would say, that we don't make it through this next round with a dub or a draw. So sure, I mean, that's still pretty decent scaling. It's a very strong gorilla. Wonder if you sold the Tamarin to get that going. I'm definitely starting to think that this pivot has fallen flat on its face. With God as my witness, I looked at that and I thought it was a dragon. Well, I don't think the Tamarin's going to do it for you. But you know what? Here we are. Here I stand in the light of day. Let the storm rage on. Oh, this could blow the whole team up, dude. My Tamarin! Oh, no, their team is still amazing. They're level 3 Bison. Okay, well, it's rare you get a chance to see what your life would have been like if you'd followed the other viable course of action. That is what it looked like, I suppose. Pig can trade. In fact, it basically can't not trade. Now, this team looks ridiculous, but I think... Let me be like I'll be like a backwards rodent. Like a snador. Snador. I think having 3 HP on your backline unit is just about the only way you could not get a 1-for-1. So I felt like for turn 1, I think we were sensible. Turn 2, obviously we want to get some value out of our pill bugs. I guess you just set it up like this and let God sort it out. It's better for your ant than for your pig, but I also would love to get a trophy this time. But I think we were on to something last time. Bro is cooking nothing. Wait a minute, we actually won a round. Hard to believe with this weirdo squad. Either way, level me. I think Blowfish can go a little pog crazy this week for sure. I think you freeze a pig, because we do want to enable the Bison play potentially. Probably combine pill bugs, run a Blowfish, give it a peach, like buff its HP as much as possible, as early as possible. I'm going to freeze a jellyfish, and the whole thing with the jellyfish, brother, just let me tell you, okay? The whole thing with the jellyfish is just... If another one shows up in the shop position 3, then I choose it. And if it doesn't, then I don't. I think we got a little unlucky there. I might be wrong. I think we got slightly unlucky with the ant luck. We do have a level, which would make our jellyfish better, but I think we ignore that. I meant to unfreeze it, with God as my witness. Pillbug gives 1 extra HP, so I am willing to move it back. Our ant is going to level up, so I'm going to give it the meat. We don't need an elephant, I think, to make the Blowfish work necessarily, but obviously, like, if we happen to see one, I wouldn't be too disappointed. Okay, so far so good. This looks fantastic. I don't know, you're stuck with those Tamarins, man. It's tough. That's the cruel joke of this weekly, is the Tamarin. Okay, level me. It's pretty good, as we saw. Level me. If we get a Niala, you can pop off. Right now, you are just a 3-4, which is not even that impressive. But there's a part of me that just is a little tempted. But I think we're going to ignore it for now. We could just get one later, I suppose. I definitely think we want an armadillo. And I think we probably want a lettuce as a result. And the baboon just doesn't really fit our timeline. We get to get a little targeted salad is nice. And unfortunately, it seems like the pig is not going to do what we need it to do. Maybe we shouldn't have it at the back anymore. Maybe we should move it up a touch. Ooh, did it make a difference? I think it made a difference. I think the ant saved our lives there. That's enormous. Go ahead. Lettuce is still good. And honestly, for the time being, I put more stock in the armadillo than the blowfish long term, even despite the statistical difference between them. Neither of them are leveled, unfortunately. Unfortunately, we're also giving our buff, I'm realizing now, to from the pill bug, we're not giving our buff to the right unit. We're not giving it to the armadillo, we're giving it to the blowfish. But we drew there, so I can't be too mad. I think it's too late to rely on the bison, so I think the pig is like a dead end. I think it's better to sell it than buy into it. Lettuce still goes crazy. Falcon, I've seen basically never work this week. I'm sorry to the pill bug. I think this can work. Now, I am extremely tempted to try sell the blowfish, run double armadillo. You know what? This is just stupid enough. I'm not even saying it's gonna work. Oh, it only buffs up to a maximum of 3 units? What a scam, dude! It's just funny, okay? Maybe it makes no sense. Maybe nobody on my squad has any stats whatsoever. But it's just funny, okay? If you're allergic to fun, you picked the wrong stream. I'm sorry. I'm willing to say it. Plus, it did pick up a dub there. And you know what? I think there is like an unseen... Like a very minor... I'm not even worried about you, man. A very minor advantage to running a squad that looks as stupid as this. And that, I know it sounds crazy, but that is that when we combine these units, we'll have space available. What are we going to do with that space? We can actually feel compelled to take some tier 6s and tier 5s instead of how I normally feel, which is like, oh, my units are too good to sell even though they don't do anything, and then we get in the death spiral. Now, start me here. We want the space. I'm going to take the gorilla just because I like it. I'm going to level up the hawk. I definitely feel like an early reindeer could go pog crazy. And then you kind of got to freeze a lemon. I think you sell an ant. As much as I want the snail here, I'm going to keep it frozen. I'm just going to throw a Nyala out there. This is a very weird-looking team. I'm putting the armadillo first just because it affects the rest of the squad when it gets hit. So I think it's a sensible place to put it. It also, you know, our reindeer being stronger is important. So that it gets more gas out of its melon armor. Although 1 melon armor is pretty weak. Hang on. This is not as bad as it looks. The heavyweight match of the century. Okay, you get out of here. You take this. I don't know who's taking a lemon. I don't think we are giving it to the armadillo, honestly, just because it just doesn't have enough HP. It might eventually, but it doesn't right now. I don't know, man. I don't really care to buy a potato. I'd rather roll for, like, better chocolate chances. Cow goes crazy if we could find a space for it. I feel like we're looking for, like, Nyala and Vaquita. And if we can make those two happen, then you never know. Okay, it's all gone horribly wrong. Very strong jellyfish. It's hard in most weeklies to compete with a juice jellyfish. It's tough. This is weird, but follow me. Oh, dude, wait, we got 2. No, okay, listen. I'm not saying dragon can't work. I'm just saying we're on a different level right now, although all of these units do need some scaling. Could we do it in time? There's a temptation. It's also a temptation to go cat and cow. Let's try cat and cow. You would buff a gorilla. Sell your reindeer. I know this is... You're like, why not buff this? Listen, I'm on a new level, okay? Sell me. Buy me. Buff as much of the gorilla as you can. It needs the support. That's what we want to see next time for sure. Lettuce, I still am looking at lettuce as if it's not that impressive. I think we could lose this one and still have a chance to recover, but nope. They have a... Oh, at least we screwed up their heron, but it's still a disaster. Okay, so I'm looking at... I'm trying to do some forensic research here. I'm looking at all the teams that are beating me. I'm seeing cat, cow, baboon. Maybe baboon is more respectable than I originally considered. It's pretty helpful, but it does feel like it might be... I mean, the cat is not that great with the foods we got this week. Just being honest. Okay. Hear me out here. Sell me. You move to the front. You take this position. I know it's weird. Heron at the back. Hopefully not immediately getting sniped. And then as a result, maybe having a chance to give melon armor to a 16/16 dog that gets spat out here. Okay, great minds think alike. And yet, would you look at... Oh, but you get a melon, but I get a coconut. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, but you're a 16! You get 16 and then you're gonna shoot me with a freaking tomato! Dude, that's by the most narrow of margins. Okay. Still working at it. Buy a silk moth, and then I love the way this squad looks for the early game, at least. Maybe like a precious pot. We have not had good results this week. That being said, maybe it would be more fair to say that I admire this daily more than I enjoy it. But there is like there's a breadth of strategies that you don't always see in dailies. I, unfortunately, am apparently incapable of easily ascertaining how to make even one of those strategies work. Maybe because I'm flitting back and forth between all of them at any given moment's notice without ever giving them a chance to marinate. However, I'm enjoying seeing some different animals in the meta. It's pretty horrendous. We gotta take something here. I'd be willing at this stage in my life to take a cupcake. I'm not proud of myself, but our team is obviously pretty strong. It won its first 2 games. Let's bet on our strength. They got a wasp. That's advantageous for us just because it's not very good. And okay, when you take a cupcake and you win, you don't feel too bad about it. But obviously, it slows down your future growth. I do think an elephant can go kind of crazy. So let's rework the squad accordingly. You know what? For now, that's a decent time for it. I'm just gonna add meat to you. I'm gonna give you a semi-permanent investment. No guarantees that there's some permanency to this, but that is a very large ant. That's gonna be it's gonna be a problem. Never mind, it's a draw. I can completely live with that. And we're still flexible, and we still got HP. Elephant levels. Elephant, or not levels, it just takes a buff, but now it levels. Bison is not going to get out there. I would like to buff our elephant, even though I know it's going to kill me dead. It's just I think this is the right way to set this up. I should actually put you here just in case the elephant runs through both of you, I guess, but ant leveling is okay. Raccoon can do some stuff this week, too. Basically, I'm willing to sack 1 to 2 of my units in order to prioritize putting the elephant at the front, which felt a lot smarter about that just a couple of seconds ago, but okay, you got me. We're going up against like flawless teams so far, so it's tough. That's a bummer, dude. Okay, bison still won't work. Silk moth. Maybe it's your time to go and get some semi-permanent stats out here. Yeah, that's fine. But when now your ant is possibly going to buff your beetle. I don't know if I would recommend that. So our game plan right now, even though we lost that last round, I'm very stoked. Not even just modestly stoked. That's painful. I'm stoked to have a level 2 elephant, because that allows us to transition real quick to like an armadillo. And then at some point... Sure. Another bison. Ah, there we go. That's pretty much precisely what I was looking for. Now, I know I just leveled you, but you have less of a future than the beetle. The Triceratops can go absolutely sicko mode, and we want you to go sicko mode ASAP. Which means, I mean, would we rather kill the unit in position 5, which is likely to be a scalar, or kill the unit in position 4 and waste our ants? Well, that depends on what we see in the shop here. You would buff... You know what? We would rather sell the ants and start getting some buffs on our hawk, which will also then buff a Triceratops once the shop goes up a tier, and maybe endlessly buff a tier 6 if we make it to tier 6 with enough HP. You've buffed the wrong unit. But wait, we actually won. It's not thanks to the baboon, but he is the last man standing. You're getting buffed, just I know it's just a little, but you should probably take some garlic, and then the Triceratops should probably also take some garlic. It doesn't probably have to take it right now, but while you're here, why not, I guess? And truth be told, I mean, I'm tempted to sell the giraffe. It would cost 1 buff on our Triceratops this turn, but it would give it another buff next turn via the baboon. And then possibly the baboon goes up another level as well. And plus, it takes the buff off the Triceratops, and it does give it to the hawk, which is admittedly not who we want to have the buff, but it's not so bad. I lived. I've also made an unbelievably strong baboon for no reason, but I'll take my draw. This feels like there's actually some hope here. You should buy and then take your level. Yeah, I don't think this is a crane game right now. Pun absolutely unintended. Fox, the problem is there's just not that many great foods to eat. I could be wrong. It's just how I see it. Maybe we take crane for now. And just, we know it's like prospective. The problem is the crane might receive the buff. You know what? Let's guarantee that the Triceratops is getting the buff one way or the other. Maybe we put you in position 1. Seems like people are running big units position 1. Not this time. My stats! Nice buff, though. Okay, nice buff. Hang on. Hang on, he's actually done it. I had no confidence once I saw how that started that we were going to make it through that, but we did. Go ahead. Tier 5s get buffed like crazy here. I would take 2 lettuces. It's basically just to maximize the buffs that we get, even though admittedly the buffs are going to units that are going to be hopefully combined eventually. I think it's better than just throwing a heron out there and praying for the best. Okay, but great minds think alike. You can't be too mad at this. Okay, now I'm a little upset. I feel like we had a chance there. Another elephant. Go ahead and take a lemon. At this stage, take this. Freeze this for next game. Or next, hopefully not next game. I'm realizing now our baboon is doing nothing. I'm okay with that because the alternative is it doesn't exist. But level 2 Triceratops next. What the heck? Please buff me enough. Oh, you get to buff me enough so that the freaking elephant could live, you joker! It's hard for me to see a heron doing this. But I have to remove it otherwise. Oh no, we'll still get it. We'll still get something from our shop. Because yes. You know, it's where we are. It's the stage of the game we're at. We gotta give this a chance. Another tier 1. Yeah, okay. We'll give it a try. Hard to imagine that winning us a game at the back there. Again, I think I've prioritized what appears to be like a cool build more than I've prioritized generating stats. And now I see that we're up against, please, the elephant. Thank you so much. Oh my god, never mind. I take it all back. It's worked out beautifully. Thank you so much to our Triceratops. You know what I'm realizing is it's almost like the less units are on the team, the better off we are. Because it means that the Triceratops will only buff, I mean, the units that are around. You should also take a shot. Like, that's... Obviously, I want the dragon. The problem is, like, where do you put this? Because I'm not selling any of these other units because we're on lethal. So it's a bit of a nightmare, but there you go. And then, honestly, this seems crazy. But I think you sell your 3-4 to minimize the chances of your Triceratops buffing a 3-4 instead of the unit with lemon. And if it buffs the dragon, so be it. Or maybe, you know, I don't know. We're just doing some new boot goof in here, okay? Maybe little bro's cooking nothing. Maybe we outthought ourselves. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not like this would have really... Oh, never mind. I thought we had no chance of making it. I think we stumbled upon the secret, man. I actually, now that I have these two units at the back, I think it all makes perfect sense. Now, truth be told, we don't have to run 4 squatted. I could just move these units to the absolute back, I suppose. You should take the buff because you have to like survive the first hit. You are getting 18. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. Like, honestly, we could put you right here. I just like the hawk being at the front because it gets the tomato out there ASAP. You could put an armadillo out here, basically just to give us another trigger. Obviously, when we want more tier 1s. We'll sell the armadillo next turn if we get the chance. I lived. Hang on, don't look now. Dude. Something's cooking! Need to buff the Triceratops to survive some snipes for sure. You know what? Take one of these then. Sell me. Buy me. That's a nice buff. Sell me. Buy me. I'm doing it like this. I understand. You might say, why not buff the dragon first? It's a simple matter of finances, unfortunately. God, I would love to have 2 HP right now instead of 1. Because any team could just throw out a couple 50-50s and then we're in a pinch, but so many of these units crit, they do double damage. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you treat me like this? Okay, Hand and Beehive, congratulations. Squirrel Baboon. Insult my intelligence by making a team that's smarter than any I've ever constructed. I see how it is, but you know what? We're still cooking, okay? Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Subscribe if you want to see more in the future. I'll see you next time. See ya!